I'm Patrice.
And I'm Daryl.
A little less than a decade ago, we followed our dreams and we built an incredible treehouse resort in the heart of Atlanta.
A few kids and 6 homes later, we're embarking on our biggest project yet.
A tiny home resort in my hometown in upstate New York.
With our bags packed and our tools ready to go, we're going to open a resort in less than 8 weeks for our first guest.
Join us as we build and create the tiny treehouse escape.
I'm Daryl Maxam.
And I'm Patrice Maxam, and we are Maxam Hotels. A little bit about me is I was born in New Orleans, but moved to upstate New York when I was 3 years old. So I pretty much grew up in upstate New York, Lyons specifically. And I was a standout athlete at Lyons, went on to the University of Buffalo, where I also ran track and field, but also completed my nursing degree. I later went on to be a nurse and obtained my master's degree, and then started teaching at a school in New York, and then made a quick stop in Connecticut where I was teaching at Yale, and where I actually ended up meeting Daryl, and he kind of locked me down. So we ended up getting engaged shortly after and making the decision to move to Atlanta, Georgia. And then for about the last 5 years, Daryl's been asking me to come over and work our business full time, which we started in Atlanta, really building tiny houses, and then that moved on to tree houses. So now where we are is we are now building our second location in upstate New York, obviously near and dear to me, being that I grew up here.
I would like to add to the docket, since she wants to bring sports accolades in, I also did play football, baseball, and track. You know, standout athlete. All area state championships. I'm originally from Jamaica, raised in New Haven, Connecticut, graduated from Fairfield University, bachelor's degree. Did the opposite route, went to the military after, Army, Afghanistan, 2010, came back, 80% service connected, disabled combat veteran. While being there, I was injured, I had to get medevac to Landstuhl, Germany, and then on top of that, I came back with several invisible scars. But of course, I do feel that I'm blessed because now that I'm able to create, I have a beautiful family and wife. What has helped to tie all these things together is that the military has given me the ability to go back to college for the second and the third time. So I came back, joined the Woodworkers Club, then that just spurred my love for carpentry. Then that propelled me into going to architecture school, then got my master's in construction management, and then my MBA in project management. Building is my therapy because it allows me to create, and it challenges me because to see something on paper come to conception is very difficult. And with myself doing the whole process and Patrice doing the interior side of it, it's just something that's a huge task that her and I take on.
We have 2 girls, Sydney and Savannah. Savannah's 4 years old. She's much like her dad and actually looks like him. She's a free spirit, she's very creative, and not much seems to bother her.
like that.
And then we have Sydney. She's 6 years old. She's type A, like mom. She is super hardworking, very studious. They are really incredible kids. How we got started in this business of short-term rentals is we actually initially, about 9 years ago when we first moved to Atlanta, we didn't have a lot of money, and so we wanted to, at the very least, get our mortgage paid. So we started renting rooms out in our main house, the first house that we purchased in Atlanta. And we quickly realized this was not gonna work after we had a couple strange guests come and stay in the house we were still staying in.
Yeah.
And we said, how do we move away from that? And so we started renting the entire house out. And that was a little bit more lucrative, but we found out that also was a liability. So Daryl ended up going to a tiny house festival. And when I came back, he said, I want to build a tiny house. That's our way of having residual income without the huge liability. And I said, okay, great. And so we ended up building one of the first tiny houses in Atlanta about 8 years ago. And so basically it took off from there.
Yeah, and then from there, after building our first tiny house, I used an existing structure on the property and just tricked out the barn that we had on site. And that all snowballed into us building 3 additional units within the next following year. And then after the 5th unit on site, we just decided that this is something that I wanted to do. I resigned from working at the Atlanta airport, just took this job on full time, and then after that built my first treehouse. It was a magnificent piece of art. I built the treehouse in 55 days. It was amazing, a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. We currently have the Atlanta Treehouse in Atlanta. That property is 4 bungalows and 3 beautiful tree houses on site. We then decided that we wanted to grow and scale, so we decided to purchase 48 acres in upstate New York. Currently right now we're in Sodus, New York, and here we're going to have a total of 10 tree houses and 6 Airstreams that we'll have here on site in Sodus.
To give you a walkthrough of our current construction right now, right behind us. We're gonna go check that out inside. That is our wedding barn. In about a month, it's gonna look completely different. It'll be ready for our weddings already on the books. We have 5 weddings booked. He has challenged me if I can get over 15 weddings, and I've told him I'll book at least 30 for next year. So let's go ahead and take a look inside. So right now it's acting as storage to keep all our products dry. As you can see, we got our windows, doors for the tree houses here. I've laid out the decor of what our interiors will look like, but this will be utilized for our weddings. So really, really excited about the work we're gonna do in here.
So what will be in the wedding barn when it's completed is it pretty much will be a blank slate. So brides and grooms will walk in and they'll be able to see an open space. You know, a bride is gonna be able to turn that space into whatever she wants.
The next space we're gonna go to is a space that's gonna be used for our clubhouse. We crunched the budget to fit this in, and we think it's gonna be a really special space that our guests can hang out and check in on arrival day. Let's go check it out.
Over budget.
Plus the budget. This space right now is a 1-car garage. We're gonna convert this into the clubhouse where guests can come and do wine tastings. They can check into their units, and it's going to be a really, really awesome space.
But for now, I'm using it as storage for screws for all the tree houses. What I've done is I've laid out each pallet and skid has their own thousands and thousands of pounds of screws on each pallet. So each building has its own. So building 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that pallet in the back is for the decking. We spent over $18,000 just on screws alone for the building, which equated to roughly around 3,600 pounds. These buildings, they're screwed together. It's overkill, over-engineered, but it's just a beautiful concept we're doing. We're doing something very different.
In our clubhouse, we will have 2 6-foot-long tables connecting for small dinner parties or private dinners or private dinner parties. So the clubhouse will be able to accommodate small events, but also an area that our guests, when they check in, will be able to enjoy.
Phase 3 of this whole project, we're gonna do Airstreams here that people can rent out. So this is our personal Airstream. We're gonna rent it out on the back end. So we're gonna have 6 of these on site.
So Airstreams are the Mercedes of the camping RV world. They look like silver jelly beans, or my 2 daughters call them silver bullets. People love them. They're timeless. They're classic. That shape and silhouette has been around for the past 80, 90 years, and Airstream continues to reinvent themselves with the same exterior, but just trick out and just do different things on the interior.
So right now, these are the Airstream pads. We have a sewer hookup, water line, and also our electrical stub up. Everything just stubbed up from here. So each pad is gonna be 30 feet wide and have a 6-foot gap between each of grass. So pad number 1, pad number 2, and pad number 3.
So at the Sodus property, we will have 16 unique stay opportunities for the guests. 10 of those will be the A-frame style tree houses, but guests will also have the opportunity to rent out the main house, which is a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom home. We ideally see this being used a lot on the wedding side. We'll have a bridal suite in the main house. So that's something that if someone's renting the entire property for a large wedding, they can also rent out the main house.
In this area, we have what's called pass-through travelers who want to have a nice stay that are on the way to Albany, Buffalo, Rochester, or Syracuse. So we're able to attract those types of people in that type of crowd.
We have our resort almost booked out for 3 months already. We're under pressure and under fire, but I think that's the beauty of it. We dig back to our athletic days to help us through those moments, and we think about building works of art, pieces of art that people can enjoy.
Piece of art that people can see, touch, feel. We try to build things that heighten their senses. You know, when they go into these spaces, the first thing that they're going to see here at the Sodus property is the tall ceiling. Touch the wood grain, the textured wallpapers, the cabinetry, and helps to bring the whole holistic hospitality side of things in full effect.
So we have partnered with a manufacturer in Finland to basically make these prefabricated A-frame tree houses. We wanted to be able to scale at a much quicker rate. And we knew Atlanta, Daryl built every structure. It's a 2-man crew. In order for us to be able to scale and roll out 20 of these locations in the next 7 years, we knew we had to take him from swinging a hammer to being the person behind the design of it. So having structures that are prefabricated, we're able to press a button and now a computer system and robots are building these structures for us, opposed to him doing the manual labor. So that was the main reason our business model changed.
Hey.
We are at the airport. We are on our way to Finland, y'all, to see our tree houses.
Checking in. About to get some free drinks and food.
Free food.
Free food. Later.
Daryl and I just had a conversation about how we pack for trips and how we pack for this trip to Finland. Is there something you want to admit?
I pack fast, very disheveled, like a crazy person, and I love it.
He overpacks. All right, we got to go this way. We just arrived in Helsinki, on our way to our hotel, and I think our first stop is going to be to get some lunch.
Yeah, I'm tired. It is it's very cold, snow on the ground. Little bit different from what we're used to in Atlanta. You know, snow everywhere. Gotta check out this new project.
The trip to Finland was an incredible experience. I think one of the things that we were able to see is we're truly inspired by the Finnish design around wellness, what it looks like from an interior design aspect. So I had an opportunity to go and pick pieces at many of the furniture stores that will be in our A-frame tree houses. So I was really, really excited about that. The purpose of the trip was for us to do a quality check on our tree houses. So we got a chance to see them, touch them, feel them, and really see them in production.
So the manufacturer in Finland was amazing. We were able to see a concept that Daryl and Patrice drew up late night, 2 in the morning in Idaho. We drew it up and then we were able to actually pass it on to our designer who drafted it. And then from drafting it, we actually put it into the modeling software. 10 months later, it's literally on the assembly line getting cut and pressed. So the material is CLT, which is cross-laminated timber. Cross-laminated timber is just wood studs and wood panels pressed and glued up, which makes up a huge, very thick wall section. We were actually able to see the robot cutting and pasting and gluing all these things up together. It was an amazing process. I do believe having these buildings prefabricated streamlines the process totally, but I would say the front end work, the design side of it, it took us about 12 months just to get to this point in itself, and a whole lot of cash that goes behind it. So the prefabricated process has allowed me to take myself out of it, because over time building these structures, my body is getting tired and I can't do this forever. So now right here in Sodus, we're rolling out 5 structures at one time. If this was Atlanta, I would never have been able to do that. So this allows for speed, but of course increased costs.
The reason I wanted to bring business to Sodus is for a couple of reasons. One, the neighboring town Lyons I grew up in, and I always say I think it takes a village to raise kids. The village of Lyons helped to raise me. I'm just proud to be from there. It's a really small town. So I think for me, after having some success in Atlanta with our business, I wanted to bring something back home. I wanted to bring hope back here. A lot of factories have closed over the last 15 years. Businesses have gone away. People that made good income left. And so I really wanted to bring some hope back for this community. And it has been pretty tremendous to run into old school teachers, classmates. They are so thrilled that, a local girl is coming back.
I always knew that if we were successful in business and we really did it well, that I'd want to come back for many reasons. One is my mom has been bugging me about that for probably 6 years now. And we finally made a decision last year we would do that. We knew Mom was sick, and it was always our goal to open up the location in Sodus before she passed. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but she knew we had acquired the land, and she actually started to see the renovations. So this whole resort is dedicated to my mom. Right now we are headed to the Lyons High School to walk the hallways that I spent my entire high school career in, and we'll have a chance to meet someone that was a great mentor to me and still is, and he was my history teacher and volleyball coach back then. Now he is the superintendent of the schools in Lyons. And I think this is going to be quite an emotional walk for many reasons. My mom worked in the school. I'll run into a lot of teachers that, were a part of my village, helped in my education, but really, as I would say, helped in raising me too, and getting me to this point. So I'm really excited. Hey, Dr. Barr.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, good. Thanks for meeting with us.
Good to see you. Good to see you. How you doing? Good to see you. Give me a hug.
Yes.
And you remember Sydney, and this is Savannah.
How are
Say
you?
hi.
Good. You guys ready to come inside? Yeah, all right, let's do it.
Yes. Got some
Come on in.
exciting stuff to share.
Yeah, that's right. You go right this way.
Matt Barr was my history teacher when I was in 10th grade, and he also was my volleyball coach from my 10th grade year to my senior year. And he played a really important role in my life as a teenager. But I think the piece that I appreciate about Matt the most was he didn't just care about what I contributed on the volleyball court. It was more about the skills that I was obtaining off the court. And one of those skills he really honed in on was leadership. He knew that I was strong academically. I was really in my book. I was somewhat of a nerd, but he really would pull out these leadership skills in me at the time that I didn't even know I was capable of.
We go right down here, okay, guys?
Wow. This brings back so many memories. Volleyball, basketball games. The year you started, I was in 11th grade or 10th?
10th grade, 2000, 2001.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You were fresh out of college when you started here.
Started here my 22nd birthday. Yeah, so I was 22. I have a yearbook in my office, I'll show you.
Were you nervous, like ever, or?
I think I was too naive to be nervous
Yeah.
at that time. I was just a kid out of college.
I just want to thank you. We shared the love for my mom. She was obviously our biggest cheerleader. She did not pull punches when we needed to come out of the game. You knew. She would yell, take them out of the game, give them a rest. So I don't think you knew like the impact you had on me, not just on the court, the principles that you taught me about leadership and teamwork.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I was just a kid my first year coaching. You were the first captain I ever had. I coached probably 25 varsity teams since then. As a coach and as a teacher and even as a superintendent now, like I'm about shared responsibility. So I think Lyons being a small town, people celebrate successes of each other. I think that leadership only builds upon itself. And so that's what we have valued and still value here now.
Yeah, no, it's a special place. I would love to see my senior picture, which is right around the corner. Can I have my watch back? Give my watch.
Right here, 2003. Right up here.
Yes. Look at mommy.
That look like mom?
Does that look like me?
Not really. How old are you?
I was 18. Do you think it looks like you a little bit? I think you look a little bit like me.
A little bit. There's a lot of conies on this wall.
That's
over here.
right. I would love to see your first year picture when you started, which would have been my 10th grade year.
I have the yearbook in my office. I'll show you your picture. Your mama when she was only 16 years old.
Oh, yes. Oh, Lord.
Let's check it out.
All right. Oh, this is Dr. Barr's office, and I get to see my yearbook,
You want to see a picture
the
of
year
mom?
that he taught.
Growing up in Lyons was really awesome. I hung out with kids that had the same amount of money as me, kids with more money, some kids with less, but we all hung out and we were grouped by like minds. Athletes hung out together, the nerds hung out, the musicians. And so growing up here was really a great place. Back then and probably still now, no one slept with their doors locked because it is so safe. So growing up in Lyons for me was great.
Oh, there I am right there. Look at mommy. Look at mommy had bangs.
What do you think about that hair?
Wow.
That was back in the day.
That was a ponytail. What you think? You like it? Wow.
I've known Patrice and now Daryl for a long time now. And when I saw their original adventure down south, we actually shared it with our staff. And now to hear that they're going to bring that to our neighborhood and right around the corner from us is exciting for not only them, but also us and our community members as well. And it's always great to see students that are successful, but also ones that are so positive and so giving. And to share some time with them is the best part of my job.
Thanks so much for showing us around the school.
Thank you.
It was nice to bump into some old teachers and see the gym. Would you guys come to school here, Sydney?
Yeah.
Yeah? And play some sports here, like mommy?
It sounds cool.
Oh, it really was an awesome school.
Mommy, that's
I will
all
come back here and play sports
We could use all three.
if my knees can hold it up.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to the grand opening and you and the family coming out.
Yeah, it's good to see you. We'll get everybody out there.
All right, sounds
Thank
good.
you.
It was really great seeing Dr. Barr today and him walking me through the school and seeing some of the changes for the better, but also some of the history of the school and my senior picture and looking at my 10th grade yearbook and my daughter seeing me. I think what was emotional about it is kind of the full circle of him literally having an impact on like who I turned out to be as an adult. Him being a teacher or, teaching in Lyons for 23 years and me coming back after 23 years and partnering with him in the community to really make some improvements and impacts and try to make the town back to what it was. That was pretty incredible.
We are 31 days away to opening day. Pressure is an understatement of a word right now. We are certainly feeling the pressure. We know that the next 31 days we are gonna run fast. We are booked out for 2 months. We're gonna continue to work 12 to 16 hour work days for the next 31 days. And essentially what needs to be done is the interiors of the A-frame tree houses, the exterior, the clubhouse, the wedding barn, the 300 linear foot walkway, putting the hot tubs in, putting the sauna in, cleaning the pond and getting that ready for guests to utilize, and landscaping is gonna be a big to-do.
The level of work that needs to get done cannot be measured on a piece of paper.
A lot to do in 31 days. A lot.
Good morning. It is day one in upstate New York. We'll be starting construction today. Really exciting news. It's about time to get this project going. You'll be able to see the Finger Lakes Treehouse come to life.
This season on the tiny treehouse escape.
A little bit more, 1 inch. It's perfect. Cheers.
We are starting to feel a little bit of the pressure with the timeline now.
Unsuccessfully, we were not able to install the electrical.
This is not a fun part of my job.
I need about 12 guys.
We'll have it wired by tonight?
Oh yeah.
Let's go. I'd love to bring in a crowd of at least 1,500 people.